Ridgeline Minerals. We are a hybrid prospect generator. We're Nevada focused. My second year coming to the show, so a lot has happened since last year, and the off chance that you did happen to catch my presentation last year. Something that I'm pretty excited about is we saw 5 projects being drilled this year across our portfolio. 3 of them were partner funded by our partnerships with Nevada Gold Mines, which is a joint venture between Newmont and Barrick, and South32, which is a large base metal producer. Probably most of you know them, spun out of BHP a number of years ago. So we've really focused on trying to find that balance between 100% owned upside, right? Always want to make that big discovery that we own 100% of, but also trying to be realistic about exploration and the chances and odds of making real discoveries. And, you know, in reality, having the funding and backing of a major never hurts when you're going after some big ideas. So I'm going to jump right into it. Stock port right now, I own 3.5% of the non-diluted flow to the company. Management owns 7.2%, about 140 million shares out at the moment. We've attracted some large investors, including Merck Investments, which is owned by the ASA Gold Fund, Paul Stevens out of San Francisco, Rick Rule, Extract Capital. Main takeaway, we've had some really great core shareholders who've backed us right from the early days of the company, and they're continuing to do so as we continue to have some success. So our business model, like I mentioned previously, we're a hybrid explorer. So what does that mean? Well, we've been able to build a pipeline of projects, of which we have our 3 deals here that are at the advanced exploration stage. We're not at resource stage yet, but we do have 2 pretty significant discoveries coming together at our Swift and our Salina projects. We also have a recent 20% stake in a company called Spartan Metals. So as part of our early stage exploration, we actually acquire and stake projects ourselves every year. Last year, we actually picked up the 2 highest grade tungsten deposits in the United States. We were able to pick those up. We ended up putting them into Spartan Metals instead of exploring them ourselves. Ridgeline holds a 20% equity stake. We spent about $150,000, invested that to make this deal happen. In return, that equity stake today is worth about $3 million Canadian. So it's been a great return on investment. We can use that equity to fund exploration in the future in a non-dilutive way, right? And the whole idea is to try to reduce dilution to myself, being the largest shareholder, and anyone else who owns the stock, right? So a few things to point out, and then I'll get into the meat of the projects themselves. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of context, the blue is what Ridgeline has invested life of project, so about $9 million US over about a 4-year period to get these 3 deals to where they're at today. In return, if our partners fully execute these deals, you're seeing a 500% return on every single dollar spent. You're seeing that torque from our partners going in the ground. Each one of the deals holds a 20 to 25% fully carried interest to commercial production. That is very, very significant, right? There's not very many companies that are getting free carries. It's one thing to make a discovery, that's hard. It's a whole other thing to put that project into production. We all know how dilutive and costly and time-consuming that can be. By doing these non-dilutive carried interests, Ridgeline and its shareholders are protected from the dilution, which is the worst part of the development cycle, is building a mine, right? We are actually protected from that. It also allows us to be very attractive to other royalty companies to potentially monetize these minority stakes. So lots of ways that we can skin this cat, but it all comes down to drilling. So that's what I'm going to talk about next. So here's a map of Nevada. Has all of our projects on here. Salina is in the red blob over there. That's South32. Nevada Gold Mines are 2 projects up on the Cortez and the Carlin Trends. I want to show you Salina first. $20 million earn-in for 80% with a 20% free carry to Ridgeline. This is the Butte Valley Porphyry. It's owned by Freeport-McMoRan. That porphyry is the fluid source that has pushed all the silver, lead, and zinc that makes up our carbonate replacement, or CRD, deposit that is now partnered with South32. So when you think of CRDs, probably a lot of you think about Hermosa Taylor, right? Arizona mining, massive success in the mid-2000s, all the way up and sold for $2 billion to South32 in 2018. Well, we went back to South32 and we said, well, here's the porphyry. We think chinchilla oxide is the equivalent of the Hermosa or the open pit silver component of that project. And we proposed to them that the real discovery is actually sitting right between there, and that's going to be a sulfide system. So we did an MT survey after inking the deal with South32. The bright purple shows the really conductive core of the anomaly, which is suggesting that there is potentially a sulfide system at depth. This is all under shallow gravel cover, right? It's a blind discovery. So we drilled 3 holes here, here, and here with South32's backing this year. And our second hole, hole 53, we just announced a new discovery last Tuesday. So that first hole drilled into the top of the anomaly, hit up to the highest grade intercept was a meter of 27% zinc, 60 grams silver, 1.5 grams gold, had lead, 0.5% copper in there as well. We also hit 17 meters of 6% zinc, 35 grams silver, a little bit of lead, gold, copper, and antimony scattered throughout that intercept as well. And it's important to point out, this is the first hole that actually fully tested this anomaly, and it's showing that that MT conductor is very real. That conductor is 1.5 kilometers wide. It's over 500 meters tall, and it's 2 kilometers long. So just the fact that that single drill hole said, okay, this is very real. What could the next 20 drill holes look like? That's what gets me really excited about this project. South32 is fired up as well. We're still drilling this project right now. And I mentioned before, here's what those massive sulfides look like. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you. These are pretty significant, right? Blind discovery, undercover, using geophysics to track a target. Our partners own the largest CRD on the planet. They think this could be the next big one, right? And it has them very excited. So still very early days. But if you look at this in the other direction, here's how long it is. It's 2 kilometers tip to tail. The hole we just drilled down to 1,300 meters. We're actually stopping this hole today. It drilled the deepest part of the anomaly. I'm really excited about drilling right here. It's right through the guts of it, getting a little bit shallower. That's where I think we're going to hit the big discovery here that's going to get everyone excited. So we're going to have assays coming out of this all the way through mid-January to early February of next year. And I think it's only going to get bigger from here. So we're really excited. And actually, just to kind of toot our own horn a little bit, but the Chief Development Officer for South32 actually posted this the day of our discovery, congratulated us on the blind discovery, but I think the really important thing, draws direct parallels between Hermosa Taylor and the Salina project. So this is a very material discovery. It hasn't really caught on. The market hasn't really caught on to it yet. I think when you drill a polymetallic discovery, it takes a little bit of work for people to understand that value, but we're very excited and we're going to keep pushing it forward with our partners. All right, the other thing I want to show you is our gold project with Nevada Gold Mines. This is, again, joint venture between Barrick and Newmont, right? They slapped all their producing assets together, called it Nevada Gold Mines. Barrick is the owner-operator of that, with Newmont being the minority partner. The reason we were able to get Barrick so excited about this project is what I just circled is the entire Cortez District. That's about 30 kilometers, roughly 50 million ounces of past production, current reserves, all owned by Barrick and Newmont. Our project is right up here. Last year, we drilled for the first time, we drilled 2.7 meters of 7 grams, including a meter of 10. Now, I'll be the first to say that's a little bit skinny, right? We want to find 10, 15 meters of that same grade. But it's important because the average reserve grade, excluding 4 Mile, which is an absolute monster, but the average reserve grade of all those mines is 6.8 grams per ton. So we're hitting potentially ore grade material. We need to get it a little thicker, but we're spending $5 million, all fully funded by our partners at NGM this year, testing right along that core trend. Here was where they hit a meter. We're drilling 500 meters to the south, 700 meters to the north. If we're successful, it potentially shows that we're on to the next, maybe the gold rush, right? A 5 to 10 million ounce, 8 to 10 gram per ton underground discovery. So in a $4,000 gold market, us owning a 25% free carry is a really exciting prospect. So our partners they'll have spent $14 million by the end of this year. They're going to have to spend another $6 million by next Christmas, or we get the project back 100%. So there's a lot of pressure on this project for NGM to spend and make new discoveries, because otherwise we get this all back 100%. So lots of catalysts. That project's being drilled right now. You're going to see results coming out in December all the way through March of next year. And the last thing I want to show you. Oh, wait, I forgot about this. Here's what the core looks like. So that's that high-grade hit from last year. And we're hoping that we can build off some of that success. So the last thing I want to show you is our Black Ridge project. Again, another gold play with Nevada Gold Mines. $10 million US for 75%, with us retaining that free carry. Now, you're looking at the Carlin trend right here. You'll probably notice a little bit of a trend with our gold projects, right? We like to be beside big mines. That's your best chance of making a big discovery. This right here is roughly 200 million ounces of past production, current reserves. It makes up the core of what built both Newmont and Barrick as companies. We are directly on trend of the Fallon discovery. That's 1 million ounces of 11 grams that is growing very, very fast. It's one of the highest grade resources in North America. And NGM just finished drilling a single hole right here in August. We have assays pending in about 2 weeks. So again, we're chasing big ideas with these holes, but they're all fully funded by partners with great deal structures all on the back end. So what I really want to hit on, if you're looking for exposure to the gold and base metal space, what we offer is a really nice diversified portfolio with good deal structure. Lots of money's going in the ground. You're going to see a lot of catalysts over the next 6 to 12 months across multiple projects. So our $11 million combined budget this year, we only funded $1.5 million of that. So it's about 9% of our budget we actually had to fund. The rest is by our partners. Next year, I think we're going to be, again, our biggest exploration budget in company history. I'm projecting somewhere in the $10 to $14 million range, depending on our partners. So very active, a lot of big projects. Discovery at any one of these could be very, very exciting.